Hi, Chris here. In this video I want to talk about sleep and just talk about tips to be able to sleep well again, because I think it's an epidemic out there that people are having trouble sleeping, either initiating sleep or being able to sleep during the night without having to wake up too many times, which we call insomnia. Insomnia happens to all of us in some form or another, not just the elderly. It definitely has a big effect on the elderly, there's no doubt about that, but I kind of see it in anybody from their teen years to the elderly having these issues with sleep. So I just wanted to do a video to talk about what perhaps the underlying causes to why we're not sleeping, very well, and also look at some things we can do without having to use a pharmaceutical drug to help us go to sleep. Because alongside this epidemic of insomnia, I think there's an overusage of pharmaceuticals such as zopiclone, which is a sleeping medication, and dangerous, highly addictive benzodiazepines such as diazepam, lorazepam, temazepam, just to name a few. As they're very highly addictive and they have a numerous amount of side effects, and especially with the elderly, because they're sedating medications. A lot of the times it's not even helping the elderly, and they're wandering around at night, and it increases the risk of falls and doing something because they're just so sedated and they don't know what's happening to them at the time, and it causes a lot of other problems. So let's look at options available to us that we can do, and look at things of why maybe is causing this underlying problem of insomnia. So one, I'm going to talk about earthing and grounding. Now, earthing and grounding you would have seen or heard me talk about before in previous videos, and I have done a couple of videos on it, just solely on that. And earthing and grounding is all about being in contact with the earth, because the crust of the earth has accumulation of negative ion electricity, which occurs because of lightning bolts hitting the crust of the earth, and it absorbs this negative ionization, which is beneficial to the human body, because we're always meant to be in touch with the earth at all times. But because we've created this lifestyle where we are disconnected to the earth majority of the times by wearing either shoes all the time or being indoors a lot of the time, we are becoming more of a closed circuit to positive ion energy, which is the one that causes inflammation in our body. And instead of the open circuit, when we are connected to the earth, we're an open circuit. Whatever comes through us leaves us and goes into ground. Very much how we earth our house and all electricity within our house. So this occurs because of dirty electricity a lot of the time within the appliances and the things that we have in our house, which we like to call invisible toxins. And why we call them invisible toxins is because they can't be seen. But if we use a thing like a voltmeter or a Gauss meter, then it clearly shows the amount of voltage that our body can absorb at a particular time. So we get this from EMF, so from anywhere from cell phones, because a lot of the time, a lot of people are sleeping with their cell phones right next to them or on their body, which is just hazardous for trying to get a good night's sleep. Because you're just absorbing all the positive ions and causing an inflamed body, and an inflamed body is detrimental to your health in any particular way. Inflammation causes all health conditions. TV, having a TV in your bedroom is just a big no-no, and having a digital alarm clock and clocks like that. And as well as, and some of these devices might not even be switched on, but because they're plugged in, they're connected to all the wiring within the house, so that's always seeping off some dirty electricity. We call this dirty electricity because it's just electricity that the body will absorb, and because we're usually in this closed circuit, because we're not grounded, causes health problems to us, as well as the smart meter as well. If that's close to where you're sleeping, then it may cause problems for your sleep. Now, earthing and grounding is very important because obviously it's the negative ionization pushes out the positive ionization to cause an anti-inflammatory effect to the body, but it also normalizes your circadian rhythm, and your circadian rhythm is essentially what makes your body know what time of day it is. We're going to talk a bit more about that later on. And also, earthing and grounding decreases cortisol levels, and cortisol is your stress hormone, so it de-stresses you as well. If our body's in a stress mode and inflamed mode, it's not a great environment for it to fall asleep and to stay asleep. And with all hormones, cortisol has a particular rhythm to it. And earthing does modulate that rhythm. So I'm just going to talk a bit about a guy, Clint Ober, who was a cable guy over in the States. And he just came across this realization that, well, he was earthing people's homes. What about if we earth the human body? What benefits would or problems would that maybe occur to the human body? So he did an experiment where there was 12 subjects that were grounded to the earth during their sleep. Now, he, using a voltmeter, was able to detect how much voltage was on each subject before they were grounded and then after. Now, before they were grounded, it was anywhere from 1.2 volts to nearly 6 volts. But then after grounding, all of a sudden it dropped down to 0.020 to nearly nil. 0.001 volts. So that's a huge drop of voltage out of the body, and this is positive ionization being removed from the body to cause an anti-inflammatory effect. Now, within the first few days of this experiment of these people sleeping grounded, these 12 people, all but 2 developed more natural cortisol rhythms. So it modulated the cortisol rhythms to be able to allow them to sleep better at night. Because if you have a peak in your cortisol level during the middle of the night, most likely you'll wake up at that time of night, because your peak usually is around about 8 in the morning, because that's when we're getting started in the day. So also 11 of the 12 said that they fell asleep faster. All 12 reported waking fewer times during the night. There was a 44% reduction just alone by earthing and reducing the amount of times they woke up. 9 of the 12 felt refreshed and less fatigued. Well, the 3 people that didn't say they felt refreshed, it was just normal, nothing changed for them. And then the people that had pain reported that the pain was reduced. And we can all agree on that. A lot of the times people don't sleep at night because they've got pain issues. Also, for people that have PMS, they also reported their symptoms were better. They didn't suffer so much with it. So, pretty incredible results there. Also, the Earth's energy also coordinates the various biological clocks. So, this is the circadian rhythm that we're talking about here, and regulated hormone flow in the body, such as cortisol, the stress hormone, and it was shown that it was normalized when sleeping grounded. So that's earthing and grounding. And one more thing I want to add about that, within the environment of the room, air ionizer, you might not have heard of it, Google it, and this air ionizer allows negative ionization within the air in your room. So while you're sleeping, the air that you're breathing while you're sleeping is vital as well. So if you can have that in a negative ionization, which is an anti-inflammatory effect, it's going to help you sleep as well. Because if we're not getting fresh flow of air through the bedroom and through the room, you'll accumulate positive ionization within the air as well, which is not going to help you with your sleep. The next thing I want to talk about is light, especially blue light at night. Now, I'm having this video recorded by my phone. Now, my phone is a screen device that uses blue light frequency. and so does the TV, so does our computer and our iPads. Now, when it emits this blue light, it tells our pineal gland, which is located here in the third eye essentially, that it's midday. So it really throws our circadian rhythm out of whack, because if we're looking at these devices at night time when the sun's gone down, our body forgets that it's night time and it thinks it's the middle of the day. So this is definitely not going to help us initiate going to sleep at night. So usually the pigment of light that we have at night time, because this goes back hundreds of thousands of years, when we didn't have this artificial light, it was fires. We'd start a fire at night time, which gives off that orange glow or that orange colour. So that's the colour that we really want to have at night time, and we don't want this blue light, because this orange light still keeps our circadian rhythm on the natural rhythm that it's supposed to be in. So with resetting our biological clocks, our pineal gland receives clues, about prevailing light conditions from specialized cells within the retina. So initially it goes through our eyes to the back of the eye of the retina, and then those signals travel from the hypothalamus to the pineal gland, which controls secretion of melatonin. Now, melatonin is only secreted in conditions of darkness, and melatonin is the hormone that's produced to initiate sleep. Okay, so you can see if we're being exposed to light and having a TV in our room and looking at our phone all the time, how it can really disrupt us falling to sleep and staying asleep. Now, another way you can do it as well, another cheat, because we are going to be using these devices because people are just, this is part of our lifestyle these days, is looking at our phones, looking at our laptops and so on, is there's a free app you can get on your laptop or your computer, which is called Flux, and it blocks a lot of that blue light coming through, and you'll notice that the screen will become an orangey colour. It picks up where your location is on the earth, and it knows when the sun sets, and you'll notice that the light on your screen will be a little bit different, a little bit orangey, and a lot of the blue will be reduced at least, and this will help with your circadian rhythm and keeping it in check. Also, you can use blue blocker glasses as well, which I've actually just bought not too long ago, and just been experimenting with, which are just orange tinted glasses that you can either get a pair that goes over your glasses if you already wear glasses, or they kind of look like sunglasses, and you wear those when you're looking at these particular devices, and it blocks all the blue type of light. So that's the second component. Now the third component is trying to prevent eating too late. So eating our dinner too late, which causes issues because our digestive system is still secreting all the stomach acids and so on, which can disrupt us initiating sleep as well and staying asleep. So we want to be aware of that, and also try not to take stimulants too late in the day. Now, I will put this little disclaimer to this, is that we are all individuals, and all of us respond and react differently to stimulants. Somebody will be very sensitive to stimulants, especially that have caffeine in them or theobromine, and some people won't be so much. So stimulants such as coffee, which has caffeine in it, and tea and green tea even has caffeine in it, so you've got to be aware of those things. Sugar as well, having too much sugar is also got stimulating properties. Chocolate as well, because chocolate has a chemical called theobromine, which is a kind of relative to caffeine. Some people will find they'll be okay with chocolate at night. Depends how sensitive you are to theobromine. And a good way of combating this is using herbal teas instead, and these certain herbs that actually have sedative qualities to help you initiate sleep as well. And these are such a chamomile, which has got a very calming influence. It's very good for anxiety as well. Lemon balm, passion flower, valerian root, lavender, and even hops as well. So these are substances that can help initiate sleep, and they're quite tasty as well. So this is something that you can incorporate in before going to bed at night as a herbal tea instead. The fourth component is you may have a deficiency of some sort. Now, some of the main deficiencies is magnesium. A majority of us are deficient in magnesium, and magnesium is so important for a number of things, including sleep. And using a magnesium chloride spray, so you can get it in a spray and you topically put it all over your body and you rub it into your tissues. And what magnesium is very good at doing is it relaxes all the muscles and relaxes the body, so it can help with initiating you to get relaxed and feel like going to sleep. And usually it comes in a magnesium chloride is the form that you get topically. You can also, if you don't want to do that, you can do magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salts. If you have a bath and you like to have a bath, add Epsom salts to the bath, and this will really relax you as well, initiating a good night's sleep. Also, a deficiency could be progesterone, especially for women. Progesterone counterbalances the estrogen, so progesterone is a hormone that gets severely depleted for a lot of women that go through menopause, when they go into menopause. So you can get these levels checked, and you can, if you're deficient in progesterone, you can start natural hormone replacement therapy. So this is bioavailable to the body, not the synthetic form that you'll get if you go to majority of your GPs or gynecologists or obstetricians. So have a look at a natural bioavailable hormone replacement therapy, and you can get a progesterone cream. And I know a number of women that have started that have found that their sleep has just got so much better, and they were having problems with sleep beforehand, so that can work. Also being aware of neurotransmitter deficiencies as well. So neurotransmitters are tryptophan, serotonin, which you might have heard of. If you're low in serotonin, you have an increased risk of depression. Melatonin is what we've also mentioned, is that same pathway, because tryptophan eventually turns into serotonin, and serotonin, as we go up, turns into melatonin. So there's a supplement called 5-HTP, which is a precursor to serotonin, and some people have got a lot of benefit with that, with initiating sleep. We want to also be aware, of course, that to keep our circadian rhythm within the right rhythm, we need to be, we can have a deficiency of natural light, so we need to be going out and getting as much natural light as possible as well, and be aware of this overuse of this artificial light. But we can also supplement in melatonin as well, and people do supplement melatonin. But again, that's kind of a bit of a band-aid approach, just like some of the pharmaceuticals that I talked about at the start, like zopiclone and the benzodiazepines. Usually, really, our pineal gland should be secreting the melatonin, especially if we get our lifestyle right and we're aware of these artificial forms of light, and getting our circadian rhythm, making sure it's within range, using earthing products like earthing sheets we can put on our bed. So while we're lying on our bed, just like normal sheets, we are grounded, and we're getting all those negative ionization, all these things that make sure our circadian rhythm stays in check. Then our body should be secreting melatonin when the environment is right, when darkness occurs. But in the meantime, we can use a melatonin supplement until we get all these things in order. Now, number 5 I want to talk about is energy problems, and this is what I do here also at Truly Holistic. I find that sometimes a person's house, or their bedroom in particular, may be in a lower vibrational frequency, which we call a lower dimension. So, which is not a great environment for sleep as well. so I can change that and increase the vibrational frequency within the house and within the bedroom. And also, when they are in lower dimensions, increase the likelihood of entities and spiritual entities which can cause issues within your body as well, which will not enable you to sleep well. Also, energy weapons that are clear out of people as well, which really disrupt the circadian rhythm and disrupt your third eye and your pineal gland from not working correctly as well. So we can go through that using my dowsing techniques and my energy tools and clearing that out, and that can really help a lot of people as well. So that's essentially it, the video. Let me know what you think below. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. So if you want to make an appointment with me with regards to energy treatment, just go to www.trulyholistic.net and you ask any questions regarding this topic. I'd like to help you as much as I can. Hopefully some of this information will be new information to a few people and help a lot of people that are having sleep problems. See you later.